Alrighty then. Successful indie author, perfection paradox. This is a full presentation today, probably take about 30 minutes. So prepare yourselves, and after we're done, we'll do a Q&A, questions and answer session here for anybody who's watching live. And if you're watching the recorded version, well, leave a comment and I might get to it. We'll see. I miss a lot of those comments as they pop up. So perfection paradox. What are we talking about? We're talking about stop being your own greatest enemy. Perfect is such a relative concept that you need to get out of your own way by thinking that I can't publish this until it's perfect. No, there's a lot of things you can do, and it all depends where you want to go. What is your goal as an author? Is it hobby writing? If it's hobby writing, do you still maintain that standard of perfection? Because if you're just writing it for yourself, do you keep messing with it and rewording it? No, I think you try to get that whole story down. Usually it's a memoir or some kind of element from your past that you memorialize. You're going to write this down. Hey, this is from our history. These are stories that my dad told. These are these kinds of stories. How perfect do you need to make it? Do you slave away on commas and periods and capitalization, or do you just get the story down? Because all that stuff can be fixed later. That's what editors are for. They make sure that all that stuff is consistent. But hobby writing, is that your goal? Is it just you want to get this one book done in your life and that's it? Okay, then understand that's a different standard. Deep-seated desire for accolades. I want to be recognized. Okay, that's also a different style of writing, because now you're writing for whoever votes on those awards. And usually that's other authors. And who wants to write for other authors? They're not paying your paycheck. Write for the readers. This is me on my soapbox. Write for the readers. So your words have value. Even if you only write that one book, your words have value, and you might as well realize the full value from them. Publish it, get it out there, sell it to strangers, take that money in, and enjoy. Perfect. Perfect is relative. So writing to make money, well, then that's where you hire an editor. If you're just writing your memoirs, whatever, do you even have an editor? Do you have a cover for it? Or just you getting the story down? Hobby versus a professional, you're getting paid for your work. So even if you don't consider yourself a professional, if you're publishing a book and you're getting paid for it, strangers are buying it, that's professional. Even if you look at it and say, oh my God, I could word this thing so much better. I didn't know really what I was doing. You got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And this is the only profession where you get paid to practice. I wrote a lot as practice, and I sold all of it. Will anyone ever see your words? This is a question a lot of people have. Oh, I wrote one book, I published it, and nobody's bought it. Do they know it's there? Will anyone ever see? How do you tell them this book is there? How do you tell them what the story is about? How do you get them excited about reading this story? There's all those kinds of things that go into marketing. I've already done a few marketing presentations. So how do people know? It's not people hate me because they're not buying my book. Your book is buried in 10 million books, okay? Nobody sees it unless they know it's there, and then they look for it. Or they already read one of your books or two or three and say, hey, I like this author, so I'm just going to follow them on Amazon. They get notified when a new book comes out. So will anyone ever see your words? That is an incremental process that you build over time. So if you just published your first book yesterday and you have no reviews today, you have no sales, it's okay. It's okay. It takes time to build momentum. It's the rock that sits at the top of the mountain until it starts rolling. And if the slope isn't that steep, well, it rolls slowly, but it still goes down. Will you improve? As a professional, aren't you trying to constantly improve? Golfers, do you think professional golfers got there just by luck and, hey, good genes and, hey, mom and dad were golfers, so I'm a golfer? No. They practiced a lot. And these are people who consistently shoot in the 60s and low 70s on hard courses, and they still have a coach. They have a coach. All of those pro golfers have coaches. a swing coach, a putting coach, but they're the best that there is. Yes. And they still have coaches. So what are you doing as a professional author? Your coaches, I suggest, are all the readers who provide feedback, your beta readers, your alpha readers, your editor, your audiobook narrator. They all have input into the process. So it's a group of coaches, because if you have just one coach, you're going to do what that coach tells you to do. They might know what's best for you, but they might just know what's good for this genre and try to force you into a tunnel that you may not want to go into. That's why I think your readers, your beta readers, they're the ones because they're giving you a broad-based feedback. So are you doing what you need to do to be a professional? And then you take it and you work with it. Hey, do I change the scene or not? I use the terms potential energy versus kinetic energy. You have a great idea, you put a blurb together, you float it with your readers, you float it with other authors, and they love it. I saw a blurb this morning that somebody said, hey, here's a concept I have for a book I'm going to write for Christmas this year. And it was incredible. It's like, that is really cool. Kind of romance, kind of paranormal, kind of cozy mystery. You tie those things. It was cool. Hey, that's a great idea. That's potential energy. Until you write it, then as soon as you have it written, now you have kinetic energy because it's moving. You can do something with that. Potential energy is the idea. Kinetic energy is when you've done it. Action versus ideas. Publish or perish. It works in academia for professors, and it works for authors. You can talk a good game, but if you're not publishing books, guess what? You're not making any money. Nobody's buying your stuff, and you're going to lose credibility with your readers. You publish one book, readers loved it. They want that second book. You keep promising it. You keep failing to deliver. Guess what? You're stonewalling your own career because that second book isn't as good as the first, and it's just not perfect yet. Perfect. Perfect is the enemy of done. Perfect is the enemy of good. Perfect is the enemy of having a great career anyway. You're the worst pirate I've ever heard of. That's what most people are afraid of. But you have heard of me. There. Okay, good. Maybe that's all you need. Do you need that ego stroke? You're the best author I've ever read. If that's what you need, you're going to have a hard time because not everyone's going to tell you that. Very, very few people are going to tell you that. Now, perfect. What does perfect really mean? Technically perfect. It doesn't exist because there are two different uses of something as simple as a comma. Oxford comma or not. Are you wrong if you use one or the other? Are you wrong if you use the Chicago Manual of Style? And I don't use it, but my editor does, so my stuff looks like it's Chicago Manual of Style-ish, I think. I don't know. I don't use it. My editor gives me stuff. I look at it and say, yeah, that's right. That works for me. Although I did have to train her to capitalize marine always. Now, marine life, that's different. But when the Marines land, that marine better be capitalized. Soldier, airman, sailor, no. Call it a personal foible. So technically perfect doesn't exist. Technically acceptable, that does exist. You need your verbs to agree. If you're writing third person past, do not slip into first person present and then slip back into some of those things you need for consistency's sake. So technically acceptable. Dialogue tags, do you use them properly? Do you use a comma before he said, or do you just use a period and then say he said, capital H? Not really correct. Technically acceptable. If you use one over the other, if you're telling a great story, guess what? Readers aren't really going to care. They're not going to ding you on that. Maybe they will, but a star, they're still going to read your book. They're still going to want the next book because of the story. So technically acceptable is what you're looking for. Technically perfect, you can't get there from here because people read different ways. Now, comparing yourself to your favorite author, that's one of the hardest things to do. When I first started writing, of course, I wanted to be like Anne McCaffrey. Guess who I wasn't like? I wrote the book and I'm like, oh man, because I reread Dragon Riders. I'm like, okay, I'm good. I've got how the words flow. No, you will develop your own voice. You will talk like you talk. You can manipulate those words a little bit, sound a little better, sound a little foofier. But you're not going to be like your favorite author. You're going to be different. and you have to accept that. Now, you can use some of the stylistic choices to get close and realize maybe that same flavor, but you're not going to be this. You're going to be you. Accept that you're you. And if you think, hey, I don't write like Anne McCaffrey, so I'm not perfect. Well, okay, accept that. And that's a good thing. But it's like, no, I got to keep writing and rewriting until I sound just like, no, sound like yourself. And that is what's going to make the sale. That's what's going to bring the readers back time over time. Because if they really want to read Anne McCaffrey, they'll just buy an Anne McCaffrey book as opposed to reading your stuff. So write like you. Amateurs practice until they get it right. Professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. And at this point in my life, let's see, I'm about, I've got 2,000 words on the page already. This morning, it is 6:10 a.m., and I have just a little bit to go. I think another 1,000, maybe 2,000 words, and I'll finish this book. So I'll finish it as soon as I'm done here. Probably another hour is all, and I'll be done with it. There we go. So can't get it wrong. Now, I'm going to, as soon as I type the end, I'll take a look at that last page, and I'm going to shoot it to my editor because I've already edited as I went. I already double checked, did some spot checking. Story is sound. The flow is good. Everything's fine on it. And I'll just shoot it to my editor because I know it's good. Professionals practice so I can't get it wrong, because guess what? It's the 8th of November, and I've got another book that I need to write. So I'll start writing into that probably this afternoon. Start making those, working on a very detailed outline. I usually don't outline, but this one I'm going to because my co-author just want to make sure all the wording in a medical thriller is correct. And he will review all of that, of course. We are going to have a technically perfect, even surgeons have different techniques. So we will have his technique and perfect for him. And that's what we'll have in the book. But some other ones might say, oh, hey, that's not how surgeons in the US do it. That's not how surgeons in Canada do. All right, dude, hang on, be cool. So it's going to be technically acceptable, shall we say, even though it will be medically perfect. All right. Practice means writing and publishing because readers are the judges of what a perfect story is. When people say good enough, it doesn't mean bad. Like, my idea of a story that I've written that's good enough is pretty darn good. I don't want a story out there that is going to affect people buying other books of mine. I don't want them seeing a book. And I made this mistake for the first 4 or 5 years that I was writing, because my sales were so good of my books. My newsletter, I just, hey, here's a story I have that's extra. It was not representative of my writing at all. It was something completely different and unique and funny as hell, mind you, but that wasn't representative of my writing. So this is what I was giving out for free to get people on my newsletter. And that's, it wasn't optimal. Now I give 3 different books that people can get, and that is a great representation of my writing. That's what I'm doing. I'm good with that because you want to keep those readers on board. I'm not going to say, hey, here's a book that doesn't sell. Let me give it for free to build my readership. Why would you do that? You want the best example of your writing to build your readership. You want readers who want to read your stuff and like your stuff. So good enough doesn't even mean marginal or minimally acceptable. It means it may not be perfect, but it's good. It's a good story that people want to read, reread, and read more of. So readers determine good enough. The best comment you can get in a review is, I can't wait for the next book. Feedback that feeds your soul. Feedback that makes you better. Feedback that feeds your soul, that's the 5-star. Hey, great story. Really enjoyed it. Look forward to the next one. Great. That feeds your soul. Feedback that makes you better, that's your beta readers or your proofreading team that says, hey, I really like this. Maybe I kind of skipped this section. Okay, great. Go look at that section. See why they skipped it. And then fix it and move on. That's feedback that makes you better. It makes you a better writer, because then you'll be thinking about, okay, I messed up with the flow here, or I took a character completely out of character, and my beta readers, my insider team will catch that stuff. Hey, this character sounds out of character. Okay, good. Let me fix that, because when you write enough characters over time, a couple hundred books worth, then You kind of blend it together in various situations, and the characters may jump out of character because you've lost what that character was. Perfect is a crutch. It's a way that you don't have to bare your soul before the unwashed masses of humanity. Because when you publish a book and put it out there, the trolls are going to pop up out of nowhere and tell you how horrible you are. And these are people who have done nothing with their lives. So why would you listen to them? Don't. So what? You got 1 stars. I've got a bunch of 1 stars in all my most recent stuff. So obviously I pissed somebody off and they're punishing me for my poor books and me being a horrible human being. Whatevs, bro. Embarrassment? No, I'm not embarrassed because I got a bunch of 1 stars from trolls. You got to be kidding me. I've made good sales. The real readers are happy with the books. The real readers have pre-ordered the next book in the series. The real readers are the ones who I'm writing for. I'm not writing for the trolls. And the only way to avoid trolls online is to not be online. Guess what? In this business, you kind of got to have a little online presence. There are some who survive without social media. However, you still have to run ads through social media. You've got to reach the readers where they are. So Facebook is my thing. So, hey, that's where I am. That's where I do my stuff. And it's okay. It's okay. I just accept that there's trolls out there, that there's bots out there that are designed to elicit emotional reactions. Don't give in to them. Do not lose yourself. So what are you afraid of? Why are you afraid that some troll is going to pop up and give you 1 star? Yeah, whatevs. As long as everybody else has bought the book, other people are reading it, and hey, you're moving on with the next story. There you go. There's no better job than storytelling for a living. So rewriting the same book over and over does not make you a better author, because you've got to learn. You've got to learn. You've got to get the book out there and see what people like, see what people didn't like. You aren't the best judge of what other people will like or not like. Go to your favorite book and look at the reviews. You're going to find some 1 stars where people really didn't like it. Stonehenge, it got a 1 star review because there weren't enough stones. Okay, that's who you're competing with, and it's okay. You're going to be okay with getting the stuff out there. You've got to control that fear. Fear is natural for being embarrassed, because we all want to be somebody that people look up to. Hey, you're an author. A lot of people will look up to you just because you've written that first book, even if you haven't published it. I've written a book. Oh my God, I want to write a book, but it's so hard. Yeah, you're right. It is hard, but you can get there. Just got to sit down and do the work. What about research? Are you researching exhaustively? Now, sometimes historical romance, any kind of historical fiction, you need to get the history right. Is that spittoon? Is it too early? Did they have spittoons in saloons at that point in time? Yes, no, maybe. What were they made of? How were they set around? Did they have the swinging doors? What kind of other doors did they have going into the saloons? All that stuff, because people will nitpick that. Now, if you're doing a very specific bit of time, and yes, very exactly, this is the kind of doors they had. They did not have spittoons. They did have that little rail at the bottom of the bar. Okay, all cool. You write it, feel, they didn't have rails at the bottom of the bar in 1861 when you're going to get those anyway. And you're right. But research just enough to get it right and move on. Don't get fixated on, I have to explain this so intimately that I lose all my readers. Is that who you're writing for? The one person who's going to nitpick? Because they're going to nitpick it anyway, because they're trying to show how smart they are. They're not recognizing the work you've done to get it right. So research is a double-edged sword. I write science fiction, so research just enough to get the science right, to get the math right, and then we tell a story. So I've got energy weapons with a lot that discharge a lot of energy with a small power pack. Yeah, that's not real, but it's good enough. Good enough. And sometimes you're researching because writing is hard. And researching is easy, and you love reading. That's okay. Just accept that. Are you a hobby writer or are you a professional writer? Professional writer, you've got to deliver a product. So what other excuses do you make in regards to your fear? You have to master that fear, get over it, and understand that the story you're telling, there's a lot of people who are going to like it, and there are going to be people who don't like it. So who are you writing for? Write for the people who like it. Ignore the people who don't like it. Unless you get quality feedback that helps you be a better author. Okay, take that, incorporate it in your next book, and keep rolling. Because as a professional, you like having more than one product in your store. So write that second book, then that third book, and keep writing. Don't torpedo your career before you start. I don't know if I can say it any better than that. You're out there, you're writing. Ooh, boy, this isn't perfect. As you reread, you're like, oh my God, this is pretty bad. Well, fix it then. Move on. Fix it and write it. Write fast. Learn to write fast. Learn to describe the scene. Embed yourself within the scene and just write down everything you're seeing and it's progressing. Chronologically, that's the easiest way. Just what happens now? What happens next? What are the main characters doing? And how are all of this trudging forward along the backbone of your plot of here's where I started, here's where I want to get to. The plot is your road. Are you getting there? Or are you deviating and going, wait, okay, bring it back onto the road and keep going, keep moving forward with a rhythmic flow, almost like a metronome of action and relaxation, action. Got to give the reader time to breathe. Get out of your own way. I did a whole presentation on that. You can't sabotage your way forward by being perfect. Ooh, it's not perfect yet. I'm not going to publish. Yeah, that's self-sabotage words there. Write a good book. Put it in the right reader's hands. It's all you need to do. Press publish. Listen to people you would listen to. Don't listen to people you don't listen to. The cave-dwelling trolls. Actually, do they live under bridges? Isn't that what trolls do? I don't know. Cave-dwelling trolls coming out to tear you down. What have they built up? No, a lot of people, their whole lives revolve around tearing other people down. You have to recognize that. This is the 21st century. It's human nature. It's humanity. So you have to put blinders on and ignore those people, the people who do nothing except try to tear others down. Are you building up? Build yourself up first. Get that book out there. Oh, but people are not going to like it, or it's not perfect, so that's going to tear me. I'm tearing myself down. No. You're building a career, and that takes practice. It takes a certain level of professionalism, which you've got to put that product out there first. Look at I love old cars. So look at a 1955 Chevy. Not bad. 1957 had the wings on. 57 is the classic. Oh, but they made it in 55. Yes, they did. But they improved on it and made it better. And 57 is a classic. You put that small block V8 in there and the big wide tires. Oh, hell yeah. What a great set of wheels that is. Drive that until the wheels fall off. Writing when inspired. Ooh, I'm just not inspired. I'm just not thinking about that book today. I'm not going to write. We should always work from inspiration. Inspiration is the idea. Inspiration is, oh man, look at this. This is exciting. Is the excitement. But much of an author's work is pedestrian. It's hard work. It's just writing. You have to describe a scene. You've got this stuff going on in this old timer saloon, and you write it, and you're like, oh, hey, here's the whole action sequence. It took a page. I expected it to take a chapter. Well, work in that flow. Work in the three-dimensionality of the senses. What was the smell of that? Do you know what the smell of spit that's fermented is like? It's horrendous. So, oh, you smell that? So wince because of the assault on your nostrils. Oh, and there's whiskey. Those glasses, are they clean? No, of course they're not clean. He spits on them. He rubs them out that way. Is that what you're describing? And you look at it and you build out that three-dimensionality, the emotions, the senses, and all of a sudden you've got a great scene with a good flow because you've got the action and then you've got some description and some more action, description, and building it, showing it through you as the director of the story, showing it through all those different lenses and the reader blowing their mind. You're shooting through the prism of your words, all of this great scene. into the reader's mind so they can live it. Do you think that comes naturally? Not at all. Writing takes practice. Writing is hard, and writing is a completely different skill set than storytelling. Storytelling, yes, but writing it down and memorializing it in a way that you can work it and deliver into the reader's mind what you see in your own, that takes practice. So understand that the plot, maybe some of the character traits, the twist, those are inspired. But those moments of inspiration, that's a few minutes for a whole book's worth of inspiration. The rest of it is writing it down, putting yourself into that story and writing those scenes down. You may see flashes of inspiration while you're writing it, because as you're going, you're like, oh my God, what if there was a dance girl over here and she did this? Yeah, cool, inspiration. But it took you writing that scene and getting in there before you added that element in, because you're there, you're living it, you're seeing it, and your imagination is going wild. So do the pedestrian work, and you're going to see that it helps inspire the rest of the story, the rest of your work. If you wait to write until you're inspired, guess what? You'll never see that dance girl off to the side, because you're just waiting. You're wondering, hey, what's going to happen? Make it. Get yourself in there. Take your camera, shine that lens around, see what happens. Where are we? Okay, good enough. Brings us back to good enough. Ebooks can be changed after they've been uploaded. It's super easy. It's super quick. I just uploaded 8 different ebooks. I revised 8. I put new covers on one of my thriller series. I regenred it to adventure from thriller, and I put 8 new covers on 8 books. I did that this morning. So you can always change it. That book's been out. First book has 1,300 reviews. Series has been out for a while. So changing things up a little bit. Give it some new life. I've turned off all my ads a couple months ago on this series. Sales have dropped off. And now I'm going to go in full force with the new genre and the new artwork. And let's see if we can reinvigorate those sales with a little bit different readership. So ebooks, you can always change it, because my thriller books weren't as thrillery as they needed to be. And a lot of the comments went to that. So be a professional. Didn't get mad. It's okay. Let me fix it. Let me tweak it. And it's taken 5 years from when that first book came out. 5 years. Now I'm fixing it. Okay. Nothing has to happen in a hurry. This is writing. And that also gives my readers time to forget about it, or the ones that didn't pick it up, look at it fresh, which is what I want. Hey, if you didn't read this book, take a look at this fresh. Here's what it is. It's a little bit different than what it might have been previously advertised as. Oh, okay. Let me give it a look. And I think they're going to like it. I'm betting they're going to like it. The good news is you're no longer stuck with 10,000 copies of an offset print. With print on demand, you can limit the number of copies out there. You can upload a new paperback cover, a new paperback text on the inside, as long as it's the same width, and deliver a new experience for the reader. So you aren't trapped into doing something you don't want. Like, okay, I put it out there, but boy, there was a lot of errors in it. Okay, fix them and re-upload. So you only annoyed however many people read that first book or bought the first book. Probably wasn't that many. Your first book isn't going to be great. Your first book isn't going to sell huge numbers. And if it does, congratulations. That makes you one of the rare people. My first book sold like 53 copies. My old man bought, I think, 50 of them. So, but that book later became an all-world bestseller. Didn't know what I was doing right away. Put a bad cover on it, had the wrong title. It wasn't edited professionally. It needed all that. After it got all that, guess what? All-world bestseller. I'm okay with that. Good with that. Actually, it was a traditional publishing house that licensed that book, and they're still publishing it. So you can always fix things. Little things. Don't keep rewriting it yourself. But I wouldn't have fixed any of that had I not published in the first place, because I wouldn't have known. You need to set realistic expectations for yourself. Finishing a book is a huge accomplishment, because writing a book is hard. Writing is hard. Telling a story through the written word is hard, because the written word, It's two-dimensional. It's ink on a page. It's text on a screen. You have to turn that into three-dimensional. You have to evoke the senses. You have to pull out reader emotions, and you only have your words to do that. That takes practice. It takes learning. It takes a lot of reading and seeing how other people do that and the good ways you can do that for your story with your voice. So set realistic expectations for yourself and understand that it might take a few books before you find your own voice, before you find your pace, before you find your ability to craft a good story. Yes, I know that's hard. Oh, the first book took me 10 years to write. Yes, but the second one won't take you 10 years. You get better as you go. You'll cut that in half. It'll take you 5 years. Bet you it takes you 3 months if you really put your nose to it and understand, here's what I did right doing that first book. Here's what I did wrong. Here were all the distractions. Now I can focus. Let me do this. Learn. No matter what, readers are the final arbiters of a story. Many will like it, some will not. It's just a given. Trust the readers of your genre. Sometimes bad reviews are because you put your book into the wrong reader's hands. And that's what I learned with my thriller. Yes, I got pretty good ratings, but generally they were looking for something a little more thrilling. Okay, I can fix that by not putting it into a category where people have that expectation of a thrill every 4 pages, where somebody's getting killed, somebody's running, somebody's shooting. That's too much for me. I don't want to write it. I don't want to read that. That's too much. Get your heart pumping, and it never slows down. So genre equals marketing. So put it in the right reader's hands. Okay, it's taken me 5 years. Got 8 books. Let me start putting those in the right reader's hands. And if we can rejuvenate sales and get the energy going again, well, then maybe I'll write the 9th book in that series. It's all good. I'm ready. Because I already actually have a plot for number 9. Because when you write, you always think of more stuff. So 200 books later, I got plenty of books left to write. And 9th book in that former thriller series is one of them. What is the biggest genre where readers might like your book? Target them. And that's where you'll find out, oh, okay, it's this or it's that. I published a series that the first bunch of comments on it were, this reads like young adult. Well, I was advertising it to Space Adventure or something like that. But adults. When I changed that marketing, I changed the categories to young adult, then it really found traction with adults who were looking for young adult titles because they wanted clean. So no sex, no swearing. All right, same book, put it into different readers' hands. And that one really resonated well. They were looking for exactly that. Listen to the readers who are reading and enjoying your work. And if there's nobody, if you've got 10 reviews and the best one is a 3-star, maybe there's a problem with your story. Maybe it didn't get the attention it needed from the editor, from storytelling, and then find out from them what's wrong with the story. Why didn't you like it? Because once you have some readers read it, then you can ask them questions. Why didn't you like this? What was wrong with it? I can fix this, but I can get better moving forward. People are always willing to help. People like to help other people. Give them a chance. There was somebody when I first started writing told me to go back to my day job. Well, screw those people, because you can learn. Okay, that first book wasn't my best effort. But without that first book, there would have been no second book. Keep in mind, you can't move forward if you don't take that first step. Readers are voting with their money more so than anything, and then their time. Time is money, because they're reading your book. They're not doing something else that maybe they want to do. But for this moment in time, they're giving you their time. Reading your book, oh my God. I appreciate all the time people have given me. I appreciate the time every single day. I'm exclusive to Amazon on most of my books, so I get page reads. I get a big number of page reads every single day. And I appreciate those readers who are there on their Kindles, who are there on their phones, they're on their computers reading my books. That's what I do for a living. People entertain people, and they like it, and they want more. Boy, what a great life. And it's not denied anyone. It's a low barrier of entry because anybody can publish, but you have to learn. It took my 13th book before I actually saw real sales on my stuff and started making real money. 13 books. Oh my God, I'll never get there. You can learn from my mistakes. My first 4 books were in 3 different genres. Don't do that. Write in one genre, write in a series. Write the best book you can. Listen to the people who are trying to help you and write a better book. Learn, go fix that first book and keep rolling forward. And that's what I did. I went and fixed that first book. Yeah, fix that first book in every series. Just enough, and then kept rolling because I told good stories. I read thousands of science fiction books, so I had an innate understanding of flow, and I got that right. I got the story right. I just technically, there were miscues, all fixable. Nothing held me back until the 13th book, and I really found that root core audience. And then, damn, I sold a lot of books after that. You write for practice, you get paid for your practice. So those first books where I'm practicing writing, I thought I was telling a story. Hey, I'm writing a book. Yes, but it was still practice. I didn't consider it practice at the time because I thought, hey, this has to be a perfect book. This has to be a great story. This has to be, I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. But I didn't let it hold me back. I got the book done, and then I rolled right into that next story because there's a lot of story left to tell in that 9-book series, in that 4-book series, in that 10-book series. All these different series, once I started them rolling, that's worked. And then I had a 1-book series. There was going to be more, but that 1 book didn't sell. So I didn't waste time. I did write a 2nd book later, and guess what didn't sell? The 2nd book. So I have 2 books in that series that didn't sell a whole lot. So I'm not going to worry about it. They're out there, whatever, learned. And I have other books that have sold a lot of books. Do more of what works. I keep giving that advice. It may seem staid and blasé, but do more of what works. Do less of what doesn't work, or don't do any of what doesn't work. But you can't find out it doesn't work until you get that book out there. Ooh, wow, this premise did not resonate well with the readership. Well, let me find something else and make that work. Get out of your own way. Stop holding yourself back. Stop letting the opinions of people who don't matter in your life affect you. They don't deserve that real estate within your mind. Who does deserve the real estate is people who are buying your book and reading it and giving critical, but critical in a good way, feedback. Like, oh boy, I didn't like the killing of the dog in the first chapter, but after that, the flow, it picked up. Great story. Recommend you don't kill the dog in the first chapter. Yeah, don't do that. People like dogs. Get better until you're great. It just takes time, takes practice, takes butt in the chair, writing. It takes getting feedback. It takes understanding what feedback is beneficial and what is detrimental. Moving forward with that story and the next story and one after that, and having a plan to satisfy your readers. Do more of what works. Give them. Write a good book and put it in the right reader's hands. When the readers tell you, hey, this sounds like this, and you get a lot of those comments, well, then guess what? Maybe you should do more of that, because that's what the readers are expecting. Give the readers what they expect in your own voice in a great way, and you're not selling out. I still love writing. I'm writing military sci-fi because I asked my readers back in January, February, hey, what do you want more of? 4-to-1 margin. They wanted more military sci-fi. So guess what? Guess what they're really happy with? Military sci-fi. I like writing it. I like writing my thrillers too. But if the readers are going to buy military sci-fi, sure, I'll write that. I put my book 9 of the thriller series on the back burner. I have an outline for it. It's there. I can write it whenever I need to. However, let me put out there what people are paying for, what people are happy to get, what people are happy reading, and I'll give them more of that and keep giving them more of that. It's made my whole year so far the military sci-fi of these last few months. So, business plan, but enjoy what you're doing. I love writing military sci-fi. Can't beat it. All right. I think that's it. That is it. That is it. Get you out of there. We're here. We don't have any questions. Got 4 people watching live while I'm nonsensical drivel. I think right up front. The perfection. You just got to take the word perfect out of your lexicon. It's not helping you. Perfect isn't the way to go. It's just holding you back. It's a crutch. It's self-sabotage, just like maybe and hope and those words that aren't the right word, aren't action type words of I am doing this, aren't full commitment type words. Perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. You cannot write a perfect book. You can write a book that's perfect for a certain person at a certain time in their life. That is, when you do that, man, that gives you quite a boost. Okay, we have a question. About to finish my second book. Do I go back with the things I've learned to revise the first one a little? Do you have sales on that first one? Do you have, okay, nothing has been published yet. No, you're still rewriting the first book is still writing the first book. So I wouldn't mess with the first book. I'd make sure the second book is better and keep going. And then maybe the third book, publish that first book, get some feedback, get some readers. So find friends who are in that genre, other authors, and then share. Say, does anybody have a proofreader or a somebody who might read this for me and see what they think? Okay, it's my genre, so sure. And get a reader or two to give you some feedback, and it might be good enough. Good enough, which it could be great, but still good enough doesn't mean average. Might be a great story with a couple little technical imperfections, but if you haven't published them yet, I'll ask you, why not? Get them out there. Get at least the first one out there so you can see, is it good enough? That's the standard that you're trying to reach, not perfect. And don't keep going back, especially if you haven't published it yet, because you don't know. You don't know what strangers think of that book. So there we go. Thanks for the question, Robin. Anybody else? No other questions? Great. Thank you all for listening in. For people watching the recorded version, thank you. Check out SIA-writingchallenge.com and make sure you follow us here on Successful Indie Author. Appreciate it. Appreciate the follow. You'll get notified when I go live. You'll get notified when there's a new video of any sort. And tomorrow we'll catch you with next 5-minute focus, 1200, number 1200 tomorrow. Peace, fellow humans.